All right, let's check out this video.
都不主动追女生的呀？
懒得追，反正也看不到进度条吧。
不好追，或者是他们喜欢同性，难说。
可能也会像我们女生一样，会有那种比较自卑，就是那种焦虑吧，自己对自己本身都有点不太自信的地方。
为什么现在
So they're all saying, why aren't men approaching women? It's like I'm liking this, right? In the sense that you see the results of feminism, right? You've seen the results of feminism in America, and people want to, counteract it, or they don't believe it. Now you've seen the result in places like China. It shows you that shit is happening.
男生都不主动追女生的呢？
投入产出的问题吧。大家现在的那个平等观念更强了，就觉得是一种双向的事情，就不是谁去追谁这样。
你说明明社会上是男多女少，但是婚恋市场上却掉了个头。
You see, even though there are more men than women in society, the marriage and dating market has completely flipped. The ones anxious to get married are mostly women, while our male comrades are sitting back with their legs crossed, relaxed, and unhurried, not in a rush at all. Sigh, I'm not making this up. In recent years, many cities have witnessed a gender inversion in the dating and marriage market. For example, the majority of clients at urban matchmaking agencies are women. The matchmaking corners are also packed with elderly parents trying to find partners for their daughters.
I love it when men aren't desperate. I love it when men are not desperate. Okay? I love that. Because this is a thing where desperation breeds weakness. Okay? I love it when men are not desperate. Okay? Men are not letting women be their weakness. Men are not letting women control them. Do not be desperate.
And online dating platforms? The situation is even worse. Over 70% of registered users are women. Even more outrageous is that at some matchmaking events, the male-to-female ratio can be as lopsided as 1 to 50. What does that even mean? 50 women competing for just one man. And it's precisely because of this extreme imbalance that some media have come up with a sensational phrase: Chinese men are collectively escaping marriage. But then you have to ask, dating and getting married should be natural for young people, so why are our male comrades showing such strong resistance? We searched through most of the online opinions on this topic. Let's get to the point first. In the eyes of most men, the reason they're unwilling to get married, at its core, is because the expectations and criteria between men and women when it comes to choosing a marriage partner have drastically diverged. The reason is simple. The division of labor in our society is becoming more and more equal. The old tradition of men working outside, women managing the household has long been gone. Girls nowadays, whether in terms of education or income, are already very close to men. So naturally, they place higher expectations on their partners, which is actually very reasonable. I'm outstanding, so I want my partner to be outstanding too, right? But the problem is that in this...
I want to say this, right? How women view it is that, okay, now I wasn't working before, right? Older generation of women, I wasn't working before. Now, newer generation of women, they're working. But because of that drastic difference, they believe that is outstanding. No. You are now just on the same level as a man. You're just the same level as a man. Most people will never be outstanding. Most people will be average. But it's the drastic degree of change where generation of women that weren't working, now the generation of women that are working, right? Weren't making money, now they're making money. So they don't ever see that they're equal to men. Now they see they're outstanding because they're not necessarily comparing themselves to men. They're just comparing themselves to women of before. So they see it, oh, women before wasn't working. Now I'm working. Now I'm outstanding. I'm amazing. So so since I don't need a man to be equal to me or a man just to make money, now he needs to be better. Women, majority of the time, would choose a man to be better than them because they want the top. They want the best option they can get, the best man they can get. They're not going to choose the worst man they can get. They're not crazy about the man that's equal to them. They want the best. So when women weren't making money, the best usually is a man that makes money. Now that women are making money, the best is men making a whole lot more money, right? He's better in so many areas. A lot. He's definitely good looking. All this shit. That's the problem. It's a skewed view. Again, that is the byproduct of feminism. A byproduct of feminism is this mindset. Okay, because again, it's all the biology as well, because you want the best mate you can get. But now that you increase your status, you want even better. Okay? Back then, when women didn't have the rights that they have, so they weren't necessarily equal or average, now they wanted the average man. Now that they are equal standing to average men, they want above average men. I don't know if they're going to say it. I don't know if they're going to talk about this, but I did another video of men experiencing foreign women, right? Dating, marrying foreign women. And that is also something, okay? An important thing that men need to open up their dating market.
Overall environment, a small portion of women have taken this mindset to an extreme. For example, in recent years, we've seen popular feminist toxic chicken soup, short videos targeted at women, even mini dramas, all of them pushing the idea that in order to get married, you must find someone who is handsome, rich, considerate, and provides emotional value.
Perfect.
Take a viral dating show from the past. There was this one case. The female host asked a girl what her requirements were. She bluntly said, "If he earns less than 20,000 yuan a month, I'm not considering him. If he's under 1.8 meters tall, I'm not considering him. And if he's stingy with gifts or refuses to buy expensive ones, not considering him either." I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade, but the average salary in Shanghai in 2024 is just over 12,000 yuan. The average height of Chinese males aged 18 to 44 is 1.7 meters.
Don't you think that's similar? Do you think that's similar to the US? The poison of feminism right there. The poison of feminism. You see the result of it. And again, I did another video of Chinese men now experiencing dating, marrying foreign women. Basically, the development of passport bros. You see the results where it's happening in the U.S. I don't think it's to a big degree, right? But that's a result. Now you see it in China, right? Another result of feminism, right? You see that, right? These men's movements are happening, created essentially because of feminism, byproduct of feminism.
By these standards, this girl's expectations aren't just unrealistic, they're almost statistically impossible. And now that we're in the internet era, these flashy and exaggerated standards
Statistically impossible. Like here, women are asking for 6 feet men, 15% of the population, asking for 6-figure men, 20% of the population, the whole population of the U.S., not just one state, it's the population of the U.S. You're asking for the rarest of rare men. Not impossible, but again, statistically hard.
for choosing a partner spread even more easily. As a result, what started off as bizarre demands from a small number of women have gradually led to the entire female group being eroded by this mindset. Then guys start thinking, well, I don't meet the criteria anyway. On top of that, marriage means buying a car, a house, and paying a bride price. No matter how I do the math, it's a losing game. Let's start with the bride price. According to public data, in some provinces and cities, the standard for a bride price has even surpassed 8 times the local average disposable income. That means one has to work hard for 8 years just to save up enough for the bride price. In the end, our male comrades just throw up their hands, flip the table, and give up, choosing not to marry at all. Honestly, everyone can see it now. The reason marriage is becoming harder is because the cost of getting married keeps rising. Marriage is becoming more and more expensive. And men's reluctance to marry is actually a silent rebellion against the excessive demands for rights from women, following the collapse of the traditional male-female social...
And I don't know if she's going to say it, or this video say it, but it's essentially MGTOW. Right? Walking away. MGTOW. They don't name it necessarily. I don't know if they're going to, but they probably won't. But again, feminism created all these things. in my honest opinion, feminism created passport bros, MGTOW, Redpill, Manosphere, all these things that, women hate. It was created during the age of feminism. This is the thing where you think that were any of these things in existence before feminism? There weren't. They were created during the age of feminism. And you think that, it's like, what is it, a one-off thing? No. Shit is happening there too. It is, if you see the repeat of the pattern, then you know that it's the result of said pattern. It's the real result of said things. So you see that you see the pattern, right? The consequences of feminism. Okay? You see that?
Role division. Of course, this doesn't mean our male comrades are against gender equality. It's just that they've realized the effort and responsibilities they have to bear far outweigh the benefits marriage brings. And men aren't stupid, they can do the math. That's why we're seeing this strange phenomenon of Chinese men collectively escaping marriage. Nowadays, from the government to the grassroots, everyone is calling for marriage, offering policies and benefits to encourage young people to marry and have children. But if we truly want to raise the marriage and birth rates, there's still a long, long way to go.
我觉得现在的中国式婚姻对于男人来说就是一场骗局。
I'm increasingly convinced that modern Chinese-style marriage is nothing short of a complete scam for men. Just ask a man to seriously think about it. What does marriage really mean? Why do you want to get married? Who do you want to marry? What do you want from marriage? And what have you actually gotten? Most men have never even thought about these questions. They just got married in a blur, tricked and coaxed into it by their parents' urging, by women's expectations, and by so-called traditional values. It's only after getting married that they suddenly realize they've been duped. When they were single, making 7,000 or 8,000 yuan a month, they lived like little emperors. After getting married, even with a salary of 20,000 or 30,000 yuan, they're living worse than beggars. That warm home he fantasized about? In reality, it's turned into a mental hell. Before getting off work, he has to smoke a cigarette just to muster the courage to go home. When his salary hits the account, it doesn't even get a chance to warm up before it's handed over to the woman. He wants to buy a gaming console to treat himself but doesn't dare. He wants to buy a motorcycle he likes but has to think it over for days. If he wants to go out for a drink with friends, he has to report to his wife several days in advance. He works overtime until late at night, dragging his exhausted body home, and forget about anyone preparing a meal. There's not even a hot bowl of soup. When ordering takeout, he even has to write "Please don't knock on the door," just in case he disturbs his wife's precious rest. What's even more ridiculous is that the first thing he has to say when stepping through the door is, "Honey, you've worked hard." And I just want to ask, is it the man who's out there hustling every day, bearing all the pressure and making money that's worked hard, or the woman lying on the couch watching dramas and shopping online? What's truly nauseating is that some women spend your money, show zero gratitude, and still act all high and mighty, lecturing you with lines like, "So many people chased after me back then."
Now, I want to preface this. I don't want to make it seem like, hating on women and shit like that. So this is not all women, right? At the end of the day, it's probably the woman you pick. But it may be a growing number of women that may be your only option, right? So that is why you open your options. Open your dating pool. Get a passport. I'm going to say it over and over again. Not because, I want you to date foreign women. No, I want you to open your I want you to open your dating pool. Have more options. This is the problem. It is desperation, right? Desperation leads you to paths like this where you have only the choice to pick from, this is all I got, right? I have 5 women to choose from. This is what I get. When you open your dating pool, right? Thanks to a passport, where it's now the world at your fingertip. That five people in your dating pool, now you open to, let's say, 20, 30. So now you have 35, right? A better selection. So maybe out of this 35, maybe you can find a woman that, actually wants you, and, she's not a bad woman to be with.
How did I end up blind enough to choose you? While enjoying everything you provide, she demands that you give 120% effort. If you love me, you have to go all in. You must tolerate my temper, understand my emotions, and meet my needs. When she wants emotional support, you need to be emotionally intelligent and comforting. When she wants financial security, you better be earning well. When she needs to vent, you become her punching bag. When she wants to rest, you can't even lay a finger on her. At times like these, I can't help but ask. A man who is thoughtful, makes money, listens obediently, and also happens to be tall and handsome. Why on earth would he devote himself to just you? Just because you're lazy, greedy, and living like a parasite feeding off men? This is the absurd reality of modern Chinese marriage. What have men been pushed into?
Now, this is the thing where I want to say again, right? Desperation leads men into this bitterness, right? Leads men into this bitterness because I saw this video, right? A TikTok video of a man sitting in his car like this, just complaining how much he hates his wife, right? How much he can't leave his wife because he barely makes anything, okay? How, he hates his wife. He absolutely doesn't like her. He absolutely unattracted to her, not attracted to her, but he just can't leave her because he's lazy. He doesn't want to achieve better. He doesn't want to be on his journey to be better. Okay? He doesn't want to try to find better. This is the thing where if you're desperate, it will lead to shitty results. That's why be on your journey to being the best version of yourself. And part of that, right? If you're on your journey to being the best version of yourself, you won't be desperate. You won't be desperate. That's the thing. And again, having a passport should be part of being on your journey.
They have to plow the fields like an ox, pull the mill like a donkey, and get slaughtered like a sheep, reduced to nothing more than personal ATMs for women. They're expected to earn money for the family, yet have no right to decide how it's spent. They're supposed to fund a woman's beauty and lifestyle, yet can't enjoy the slightest freedom themselves. All responsibility, zero rights. And in the end, he realizes. He's tried his best to meet everyone's expectations, but not a single person actually cares how he feels. I really want to ask, how did men go insane like this? Why must they get married? Is this what you call marriage? This is nothing less than legalized slavery.
一个聪明的美女，她会选择丑的、矮的，但是她绝对不会选择抠的。
A truly smart and beautiful woman, she might accept a man who's unattractive and short, but she would absolutely never choose a stingy man. This is something you should never take lightly. Sisters, take my advice. Never date a stingy man. Seriously, stingy men, once you date one, you'll be silenced. Each one is more ridiculous than the last. You know that saying? Everyone has their own Hamlet in their heart. What it means is, everyone has their own judgment and preferences. But I'm telling you, don't try to be individual about this. Because once you've dated a stingy man, you'll know exactly what it means to regret it beyond words. Those smart and beautiful women, they've already figured out how to protect themselves. They never let themselves fall into an emotional vortex of self-consumption. As long as a man makes her feel uncomfortable, dishonest, or shows even the slightest unwillingness to give, they don't hesitate for a second. They block, delete, and cut ties instantly. They understand how to stop losses in time, with no loose ends left behind. Only the less wise ones keep getting emotionally drained by jerks and stingy guys. Because they love the wrong person, they live with more and more grievance, grow less and less radiant, and end up with nothing at all. So, sisters, once you come across a man who's not willing to spend money on you, don't hesitate for even 1 second. Block him immediately.
现在男生真的是一点都不追女生了，然后总还把那个舔狗挂在嘴上。
Now, guys are really becoming more and more passive. They almost never take the initiative to pursue girls anymore. They keep talking about the word simp all the time.
This is the thing where, what do you want to pursue women for? Okay? It's such an imbalance. It's not like, let's say this, it's not like if you're not being stingy, you're getting anything. What are you getting in return? You're not owed a woman's body because you're spending money. So you're just spending money. This is the thing we gotta recognize. So many women view that their time is worth your money. Their presence is worth your money. It's like your time is meaningless. Your present is meaningless because they're not into you. They just want to use you. So what's the point, right? Yes, it's simping. When honestly, it's the value of give and get. Okay, so if you're giving more than you're getting, you're simping. It's just that. If she barely cares for you, you love her. You want to, I don't know, shower her with presents, take her on trips, take her to expensive restaurants. Yet she's like, okay, great, thank you. You should do it. I'm giving you my time, my presence. I'm just standing here. That's good enough for you. That does not fucking equal that same kind of effort.
As if just being a little proactive would immediately get them labeled with that tag. For example, when they've just met a girl, they send her a message, and if she doesn't reply, they definitely won't send a second one, because sending another would make them a simp, or if they ask a girl out for a
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it's simp, but it could borderline it because, again, it's all about effort. That's the thing. When one person is giving a huge amount more effort, I'm not saying the second message is a huge amount of effort, but I'm just saying that it's borderlining. It's like leading towards that where you are giving more effort than you're getting in return. That is simping. Again, I'm not saying sending a second message is simping, but it's like I said, that's the notion where you're doing more than she's doing. She's getting more out of it than you're getting. You're now living in the simp era.
meal and she says no the first time, they won't ask again. Taking one more step of initiative.
Seriously. No is a no. I hate when women think that, like, women play these games. Like, they want men to be aggressive. What do you want? You want men to be aggressive or you want men to be respectful? Like, I honestly think that those two cannot really go together.
Seems like lowering their own worth. Guys think this way. I'm also an only child. I'm also the precious one in my family. So why should I humble myself to chase after you? What obligation do I have to please you? But have you...
You don't have any obligations. But think about it in the return. He also has no obligations to do the same. He has no obligation to please you. He doesn't have no obligation to chase you. Don't be desperate. That's the thing. Being desperate leads you to simp behavior. Being desperate leads you to, being taken advantage of, disrespected, treated like a doormat.
You ever thought about this? Us girls also have our own thoughts. I've just met you, and I haven't even seen what your attitude is like yet. I might really be busy and didn't get a chance to reply to your message. But when you...
Do you not think the same could be, the reverse could be true? He might be busy, so he doesn't need to text you again. He doesn't know you, so, he doesn't need to, like, seriously. If you can think of how you should think, right, in your way, apply that same logic the other way as well.
See that we girls didn't reply, and then you never message again, of course we'll think you're not interested in us girls. Then we'll definitely not contact you either, because we're girls, after all, we can't just go around chasing guys, right? So if...
I think it's funny with women, where it's like, oh, I'm just a girl, I can't do this. Okay. Yet, if I expect you to cook and clean, would you scream because, oh, equality? Like, it's like women want to use the thing, I'm just a girl kind of thing. I shouldn't do this. But okay, fine. You're just a girl. You should be doing that. Is that cool? No. This is another poisoning that feminism does. Okay? You want equality when it suits you. You don't want equality when it's, you don't benefit from it.
Everyone is so calculative, so passive, then no one's going to date anyone. To be honest, if you meet a girl and think she's not bad, then give each other a few more chances. Do you really think you'll meet that many girls who make your heart flutter? In your entire life, how many women who are quite a good match, can you realistically encounter? Since you've met one,
It's like, do you not think about the same thing in fucking reverse? In your life, how many good men are you meeting? I find women absolutely idiotic. Why can you think of that logic one way? You can't reverse it the other way. It's like this is why I said I know women aren't stupid. But why are you being stupid? Right? Because again, she's using logic. Right? She's using logic right there. But she can't apply it in reverse. Because she doesn't care. Right? That's how women are. They don't care.
don't give up so easily. Be a bit more proactive, hang in there a little longer, and putting in a bit more effort isn't a bad thing at all. Likewise, if a girl
This is the silliness of it. Putting in a bit of effort isn't bad. But you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to put in effort. But putting effort for you, right? You should be putting effort in. But I'm not. It's the double standards for me, right? It really is. And it's not like there are some things that just, it's a double standard in the war, right? It's just automatically. Some things that aren't. Some things that aren't. Effort should not be a double standard thing. Because you honestly, it's like, why is it putting effort in a double standard, right? Men should be putting effort in, not women. I can never understand that shit.
also thinks the guy is pretty decent, then she shouldn't always keep up that prideful attitude either. Respond a little, take some initiative. Maybe the outcome would be completely different. If both people are willing to step forward just a little bit, the chances of getting into a relationship would be much
Exactly. Exactly.
higher. Because only when you really get to know each other and interact, will there be a possibility for making a choice. If you're always quick to say, forget it, or walk away after a disagreement with, I'll just find another girl, do you really think you'll always have another suitable girl waiting? Go ask those men who are 37 or 38 years old. You'll find that they might not meet a truly suitable girl for an entire year or two. By the time they realize they should have cherished that one good match, it might already be too late. In the end, when it comes to relationships, it still feels more natural for girls to be slightly on the receiving end. Guys should just be more proactive, make more of an effort, not to lose face, but to win the chance.
有的男人他虽然很有钱，但是他对女人极其的不尊重。
Not all men who can make money or who are rich will be generous to women. And not all men are worth a woman's time to plan for or strategize around. 'Cause some men, although very wealthy, have absolutely no respect for women. When he's with you, the first thing he wants to see is whether you're truly sincere toward him, whether you're someone who is willing to give.
You know, this is something that I've really grown to hate about at least Chinese women, thanks to these videos, is all the filtering, right? It's like, seriously, what are Chinese men getting? All these filter, right? These filters, these makeup. It's like, what are Chinese men getting? These women are absolutely fake.
Only if you're patient enough, tolerant enough, and caring enough will he maybe start to give something back to you. If you expect him to give first, it's almost impossible. He'll think, if I have to spend money on a woman just so she'll be with me, then why should I choose you? Why can't I just find someone else? There's no need for me to pick you specifically. Once you reach your breaking point during this long period of patience and finally erupt like a volcano, he'll reevaluate who you are. Only when he is completely satisfied will he possibly begin to give. But there's no way around it. Since he has money, the moment you're with him, there's already a power imbalance. The rules between you are set by him. Even if you feel uncomfortable or unfair, you can walk away, but he won't try to stop you. This kind of man is the classic rich and cold-blooded type. He might not even be particularly lustful, and the chances of him falling hard for a woman are extremely low. So, sisters, when we're faced with this kind of man, should we choose to endure it? Or should we try to get what we want through a long, drawn-out effort? If that's the case, you'd better be ready for a long battle. Otherwise, it's better not to start this relationship at all. You might as well put more energy into yourself instead. No matter how much or how little we earn, at least we feel peace in our hearts.
Cool. But this is a thing where I saw another video of a woman who's now 35, which is not, not like old or shit like that, but it's like she's now regretting her mistake, her choices in the past. And she's saying it's harder to find a man more than ever, right? It's getting harder and harder every year. So, this is a thing where a lot of women got to realize, okay? Do you want a man or do you want a lifestyle? If you want a lifestyle, you might as well just provide it for yourself, right? You might as well just provide it for yourself, because the chance of finding a man that can give you the lifestyle is rare. And if he can give you the lifestyle, he can give other women the lifestyle. So you just chose a man that has a lot of options. Guess what? Guess what comes with that kind of thing? A man that has a lot of options, more than likely will exercise his options. So pick your poison. A lot of women don't really understand that concept. Pick your poison.